All right, but Rob G, let's start here. And just the Jets lose last night, and I guess Aaron Glenn wanted everybody and their uncle to know something. So what was that?
Yeah, he wanted to let him know how mad as hell he is. He's not going to take it anymore because in a game where they had 13 penalties and 3 turnovers, Aaron Glenn made a point, according to multiple reports, to yell at his team so loudly in the postgame locker room that the media could hear it down the hall. So he wanted to make sure everybody knew he was really upset, and for good reason, because last night, the New York Jetropolitans became the first team in the last 20 seasons to start 0-4 with 0 forced turnovers, which is a big deal because, as you know, Aaron Glenn is a defensive coach. And number 2, this is one that's really got to raise some eyebrows. Aaron Glenn last night became the second coach in Jets franchise history, or excuse me, the third coach in Jets franchise history, to start his tenure as a new coach with the club 0-4. Joins Adam Gase and Lou Holtz as the last 2 coaches to do that with the Jets. He is now 1 loss away, coming up on Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys, from becoming the first 0-5 rookie head coach in Jets history.
I got news for you. He don't need that win for me to already think Aaron Glenn is the worst coach in Jets football history. I'm already there.
Why are you
That's
there,
how long
Rob?
it took me. And I told you about one thing. All that showboating and cutting a player because he fumbled and all that and the bravado. And you just talked about it, Rob G, like screaming and carrying on and all that. Dude, your team is undisciplined. 13 that's a reflection of the coach. We agree with me on that? Penalties. 13 penalties. And do you know who they lost to last night? The Dolphins. They don't even get any worse than that. The Jets have turned into the general hospital of the NFL. When you play them, you get well. Miami was starving for something, some medicine, some help. And guess what? The Jets delivered. That's what they do. They make it easy for other teams. Aaron Glenn hasn't changed anything. That BS that they tell everybody about culture. He came from a winning culture in Detroit. He's going to transfer that over to the Jets. Culture starts with winning. That's how you transfer a culture over. If you don't win, I don't care about all that other stuff. I've told you 1,000,000 times. Pro sports has a short menu, wins and losses. And when they lose to the Cowboys in New Jersey on Sunday, he'll be 0-5. Remember, this is the guy who told Aaron Rodgers to hit the road, right?
You did.
He did. He's the one who's walking around and talking about he's going to change everything and we're not going to tolerate this and that. And if you fumble a ball, did they cut anybody else from last night from the fumbles? Did Justin Fields get cut? What was the other running back who fumbled at the goal line? Was he cut? I'm just asking. Well, what is it? You're not tolerating that or not tolerating that from a bottom feeder, from some guy you use as a sacrificial lamb to try to push some narrative that you're not having it and it's totally different now with you in charge. The Jets haven't changed. Aaron Glenn hasn't changed one bit. That team is pathetic. They couldn't even compete. I don't care what the score was. Did they compete in that game against the Dolphins?
It was ugly.
Ugly game. That's where I'm at with Aaron Glenn. So go ahead. Yell at your team. All that bravado and all that. How about coach better? How about do a better job at coaching your team up so they don't have to go to Miami and get embarrassed by a terrible Dolphins team? Because that's what happened last night. And now you're about to make history. I never, considering how bad the Jets are, I can't believe a coach hasn't been 0-5.
That's actually more shocking than anything.
That's shocking. And guess what? Aaron Glenn will wear that proudly because he's earned it.
I cannot believe we're 4 games in and you're going off on Aaron Glenn. 4 games into a team that had Aaron Rodgers and only won 5 all of last season. Aaron Glenn is trying to develop his team. Aaron Glenn is trying to find an identity in the team. Aaron Glenn is trying to find out who's good on this team. He just got the job, and it's his first head coaching job. And you brought up the Detroit. Dan Campbell, who has had one of the best teams in the last 3 years, wouldn't have had this chance if they were listening to you, because they started off 0-8, 0-9. Then they righted the ship. They got their guy, and obviously Jared Goff, and they've been able to move forward. So my thing is, I'm not even thinking about Aaron Glenn either way, because it's 4 games into his first team with a bad team that I had no expectations of anyway. This is the kid who always brings home D's, and now I'm yelling at him because they got a D-. Like, this is what the Jets do. So I didn't have expectations. This isn't you coming in yelling at John Harbaugh. I can understand that more because their expectations, Super Bowl aspirations for the Ravens, right? I can understand that. There are a handful of other teams, DeMeco Ryans, you might say, hey, man, this team is supposed to be better than this, talking about the Texans. I can understand that. Nobody had any expectations for Aaron Glenn, for the daggone Jets, because they weren't good. They haven't been good in I don't know how long. And the crazy part is they actually have been competing. Game 1, they lose 34-32 because of the whole kick return thing that messed up against the Steelers. They could have maybe beaten Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers.
Did they win?
Hold up. They got beat down by the Bills. We know that. That was expected. And then it takes a blocked field goal for the Buccaneers to beat them. Otherwise, they beat them. They lose 29-27.
Did they win?
Hold up. And then they only lose to a terrible Dolphins team. It was a terrible – I told you it was the toilet bowl. Yeah, it's night. We're watching it. This was the toilet bowl between those two teams. And they lose by 6. So aside from the Bills, he's lost by a total of 10 points those 3 games, 2 of which he should have won.
Stop that. The NFL, most games are decided by –
So what I'm saying is –
losing by close doesn't mean anything.
So I'm laughing at the idea that we're talking about Aaron Glenn as if Aaron Glenn is the coach of the Chiefs or the Ravens or the Lions.
Can I give you an example? And
yes.
This is why your argument is lame.
My argument is not lame. It's lame. 4 games with Aaron Glenn and the Jets.
Rob G., Nathaniel Hackett with Denver, did we not call it after week 1 that this guy wasn't head coach? Week 1, we knew Nathaniel Hackett couldn't coach. And he wound up going 4-11 and was dismissed. You could use the same argument. How can you fire a guy? It's his first year. Oh, blah, blah, blah. No. This is the bravado that Aaron Glenn brought about I'm changing the culture here. He didn't come in and tell you, hey, give me 3 years and see me in 3 years. We're going to lose. There ain't no way.
That's my job as a general manager. I bring in a guy that I believe in, and I give him time.
13 penalties is a reflection of your coaching. It is.
It is.
You can yell all you want.
In. They could literally be sitting here 2-2. They can literally be sitting here 2-2.
4. Your record is what your record is.
And a kickoff return.
You can do that all day.
And then you're mad because he got rid of a guy who barely made the team.
Because it was an act.
Off the offseason.
It was an act. That's what it was.
You know how many guys get let go who barely, or practice guys who barely, special teamers? That happens the first 3-4 weeks of every team every season.
And it came back because
you're getting your blood pressure worked up over Aaron Glenn and the Jets. Man, I want you to go back to your John Harbaugh take. I'd rather you yell at John Harbaugh. I would be down with that than Aaron Glenn. 4 games into the Jets.
Carlos in California, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Carlos?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How are you? Turn your radio down. Turn your radio down, please.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just about to pick up my daughter from school.
Shout out to your daughter.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, Aaron Glenn, he's super soft. Unfortunately, the pace of the NFL, if you're not on it and you're not trying to win, they're just gonna get rid of you. And there's a lot of pressure for GMs too.
Oh yeah.
But then, basically, having 13 penalties in the game is a reflection, as he was saying, of how bad the coaching is.
Right.
Because that should be that should be day one stuff. That's
what
like
you're trying to clean up.
101,
right?
You know? Yeah, exactly. 101. It's
We
like,
might not be good, but we're not going to do it
beginning.
to ourselves, right? Right.
Yeah, exactly. Start from the beginning. You
No
know,
doubt.
just like even professionals can do that. Like if you're a good professional, it doesn't matter where you get from, like where you get to. If your boss comes up says, "Hey, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to start from door one or whatever." Like from the base.
No doubt.
I appreciate it, Carlos. Thank you, man.
Drew in New Jersey, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Drew?
Hey, I definitely I'm not going to say he's going to be a failure, but what I will say is I would not have hired him to coach a rebuild. I just don't believe in hiring defensive coaches for rebuilds. I think Flores only works with the Bengals. I think that's a good hire for next year, only because, number one, he had locker room problems in Miami, but I feel like in Cincinnati, that's Joe Burrow's team, and Joe Burrow has the offense. You can put Flores on the defense, and that works like that. I think defensive coaches should be looking for teams that are awful on defense, that are just focused on offense, because that's an easy fix.
Drew, the only thing I'll push back on, Drew,
Appreciate it.
is Mike McDaniel is now having locker room issues. We just did a whole report on him last week, how now they're trying to get him, folks aren't liking him and all that. So that definitely can happen with offensive guy or a defensive guy. I hear your point, though.
Cameron in Indiana, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Cameron?
Hey, so guys, listen, I'm 29 years old, and there's only three things I'm sure of in life: Jets, Texas, Jets, Jags, Browns. They're all going to suck. It doesn't matter who you throw in there next 20 years. They're all going to suck 20 years from now. It doesn't even matter.
There you go. He's
He's
only 29.
He's only 29, knows, which is sad if you're those organizations.
Imagine being 61 and being a fan of that
and
team
that's
growing
why
up.
I'm confused why you're getting your blood pressure up over the Jets 4 games in. What's new? Rob, I need you here another 25 years.
What's new
You can't be doing this.
is that as bad as the Jets are, okay, that no coach has ever been 0-5.
And maybe he'll beat the Cowboys.
Like that's the thing.
go,
no, you're like, what? Like, what's new? That's what's new. That's shocking.
That actually is shocking.
That is, and the whole idea that they couldn't beat Miami. Miami's they're on fire. They're in flames. That's the one.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why they needed those
Their
other
own
two.
coach, he's on LinkedIn, right?
I told you, he's hanging on by a thread. I just mentioned it down there. That's why they needed those 2 games. Those 2 games they were supposed to win.
He's so messed up with this whole thing what's going on in Miami. He's now saying he's black. I mean, he wouldn't say it before.
You can't get this man to Tiger Woods. You can't get this man to Tiger Woods. I'm not dealing with you right now. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts, and while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share. Do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.